Hey there, weirdos. Welcome back. I have such a great video today. Of course, we're doing Paws and Claws. I'm going to read you some incredible stories. I've not read them yet. I'm assuming they're incredible because they're animals. They can't be anything other than. In this video, I'm also going to be doing a very basic dip mani. But look at all of the amazing goodies MVP Nails sent over to me. She sent me a bunch of her collections. I didn't know. It took me so long to figure out what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to do a Paws and Claws, so I'm just going to do a very basic mani with one of her colors. If you would like me to do like a big swatching video and swatch out all of these colors from MVP, I probably have, I don't know, a ton of collections, a bunch. Oh, speaking of which, she, unfortunately / fortunately, sent me her Northern Lights collection, but I already have it. So since I now have a duplicate of the Northern Lights collection, I'm going to give it away to one of you guys. Just an impromptu thing. If you'd like to be entered in the giveaway, comment down below the best way to reach you. Like the video, give it a thumbs up, and make sure you're subscribed, and I will package it up and shoot it over to one of you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and dive in. I will leave details for everything down in the description box, but I'm super excited and I really want to get into the Paws and Claws. Before I do that though, I am going to show you how I do my peel base. I'm going to leave something in the cards for you guys on how I did my, not my extensions per se, but a builder gel fill-in. That's what I'm doing this mani over, so I'll leave that in the cards. And I'm going to get my peel off base coat on. I don't know if you guys really care about my peel off base coat. I know some of you use it and wanted to see how I used it. So I'm just going to do one quick medium consistency coat of the UNT peel off base coat on all of my nails and let that dry for about 5 to 7 minutes. Air and heat do help the drying process. So I'll sometimes put it in front of my dust collector fan and help it dry, or my LED UV, my gel light, that'll help it cure a little quicker. It's not curing, it's not gel. It's just like the heat, the warmth kind of helps it dry faster. Anyways, I'm gonna get into some stories. First, if you want to send me an animal story, an adoption story, crazy animal encounter story, any kind of animal story, ghost animal, whatever, shoot it to marlakrispausandclaws@gmail.com. I'll leave the email address down in the description box for you guys. I would love to hear your story and read them in the next episode and share them with the rest of the Mani fam. So without further ado, away we go. Hey Marla, I saw your post for Paws and Claws stories and wanted to share my rescue story. I had been looking to rescue a Yorkie to add to our existing Yorkie family. We had 2 girls. I spent about 4 years applying with no luck. I saw this picture of a puppy mill rescue pup and my heart completely melted. I had to have him. Well, I thought it was a her at the time. I inquired and was told there was a pending adoption, but if anything changes, they would let me know. I spent the entire week constantly looking at his picture and praying that he would be mine. I was already head over heels in love with him and named him Nugget because he was so small. Oh. I received a text message later that week asking me if I was still wanting to adopt him. I really couldn't believe it. I live in New Mexico. The rescue, Yorkie Rescue 911, is based out of New York. I booked my flight to leave the next morning at 4 a.m. to get my new baby boy. Oh my gosh. I got chills. I'm thinking to myself, does he know there is someone on the opposite side of the world that loves him and is flying to get him? I kept wondering if he knew what it was to be loved and wanted. I'm gonna cry. He went through so much in his little life. He was rescued from a puppy mill in Puerto Rico and spent his entire life in a chicken coop in the mountains. Ugh. The conditions were so bad. They rescued 18 Yorkies and flew them to New York to find loving homes. I was absolutely blessed to have received Nugget. He's the cutest thing ever. He runs like a little billy goat. He's obsessed with potato chips. Aren't we all? So we make our chip choice based on what he likes. The kettle chips only. Oh my gosh. He chews with his mouth wide open and is so loud eating. LOL, we love it. He loves to cuddle with his mama and absolutely adores his sisters. He's still getting used to his adopted life. Everything is new to him, but we love to spoil him. I know the old saying goes, who rescued who? But I truly believe he rescued us. He completes our family, and we love him so much. I literally have tears in my eyes. Oh my gosh, I need to compose myself. First of all, thank you for doing what you do and for wanting to rescue. I have feelings about puppy mills and all these types of places with breeding and stuff. I'm going to keep my opinions to myself because no one needs to know about my opinions. But I so appreciate people like you who want to do the right thing and want to adopt and want to give second chances to some of these animals. And you know, it's one of those situations where it sounds like it was just completely meant to be. And I love this story so much. This is the best way I could think of to kick off this episode of Paws and Claws. And I so appreciate you sending me this story. On to the next. Hey Marla, thank you for sharing these stories and bringing awareness to animals. I truly love them more than people sometimes. Yeah, you and me both. My story is about my sweet girl, Molly. We adopted her 10 years ago from a local shelter. She was brought to the shelter with 2 other dogs from a kill shelter down south. While looking around for a dog to adopt, there she was, trying hard to get attention from people, while the other 2 were going nuts, barking and getting in her way. She finally broke free from the other dogs and was able to come up to the fence. She had the sweetest face, and you could just tell she wanted to be loved. Of course, we fell in love. And to this day, she is my best friend through life's ups and downs. You know, these stories, they just get to me sometimes. Maybe it's the day, I don't know. First of all, what a sweet face. I can't say I blame you for grabbing up this one. But isn't it crazy how animals just find their humans? Sometimes that's just the way it is. You know, I say it a lot about cats because that's predominantly what I work with. Who, I don't know. Cats are who I predominantly work with in the shelter, or when I used to be at the shelter at least. I still haven't been there to volunteer, and it kind of, I don't know, I feel horrible about it. But I used to say that all the time when I was doing adoptions, that sometimes the animals just choose you, and clearly she saw you and said, that is my human. Thank you so much for sending the story. Please squish the fur baby for me. Oh, I love it. Love, love, love it. Hello, Marla. For months, I've been wanting to share the story about Teddy Bear for your Paws and Claws video. Finally, I have come around to sharing it with you. Here it goes. My baby's first name is Teddy Bear. He chose me the weekend of Thanksgiving 2008. He also has a cool birthday, 080808, according to his certificate. Teddy and I have been together through thick and thin. He was there to comfort me when my dad passed away. Every day that I was grieving my father's death, Teddy would sit right by me. When I cried, Teddy would be there to snuggle me. When I got married in 2013, he was there with me. Fast forward to 2017, I was 7 months pregnant in the summer. Phoenix weather. Oh my gosh. That could not have been comfortable. I usually take Teddy for a walk to go potty, but that day, I just let him go in the backyard and would let him back when he was done. 20 minutes went by. I did not see Teddy come to the door. I went looking for him, and to my horror, I noticed the back door was open and he had gotten out. I told my mom what happened. She was staying with me at the time since my husband was in London. I started running towards the road and the park that we usually go to, huffing and puffing and crying. I thought I lost Teddy because I was being lazy. Oh. A couple of hours passed. It was getting dark outside. Horrible thoughts took over my mind. What if he got run over? What if he's hurt and doesn't know his way back home? I was dying internally. I couldn't eat or do anything. I got flyers made and put them all over the neighborhood, just crying my eyes out the whole time. I called my husband to tell him what happened. He was so mad at me. I felt terrible. So Teddy's collar has my name and phone number in bold and my husband's phone number in small writing. Someone found Teddy walking our normal path and figured he was lost. They kept on calling my husband, who was in London. He couldn't check his voicemail. We didn't know Teddy had been found. About 10 p.m., crying and being on my feet for 6 hours without eating or drinking. Remember, I'm in my 3rd trimester at the time. The lady that found Teddy called me. Finally, I cried and cried, thanking her. When I went to pick him up, he was in the park where he normally goes potty when we go for a stroll. My emotions were running so high for those hours, thinking, what did I just do? Now my son is 3 years old. Teddy is 12 years old, and they are both buddies. I adopted Teddy when I was single. He He saw me get married and have a child. He's been with me literally through all the major milestones in life. I'm attaching a picture of Teddy and my human son. Thank you, Marla. I love watching your videos. Oh my God, the emotional roller coaster that I just went through reading that email. I can't even imagine what that must have been like for you. I couldn't imagine. And I can absolutely relate to how you must have felt during that time. You know by now. I mean, it's been a long time. Nothing that you did was your fault. You know that. First of all, apologies for the passing of your father. I can relate to that. I lost my dad too. Congrats on the wedding and of the baby. There was a whole lot going on. Thank you so much for sending this in, for taking the time to share this with me and the rest of the Manny fam. I'm so glad this ended happy. I'm sweating. I'm sweating. I didn't know it was going to happen. And you know what? I don't know who the woman was who found your dog, but bless her heart. That's just amazing, because there are so many humans out there that who knows what they do. Some people steal animals. I've heard of people stealing animals. I'm just so happy that someone sweet found your pup and got the pup safely home. Oh my goodness. I love this story. Thank you so much. I'm going to pause my stories for right now just to mention something super fast, because this Manny was kind of a train wreck for me. I didn't know what I wanted to do, as typical, usual MK doesn't know what she's doing. You will see an ombre that I do on my middle finger. I didn't like the way it came out, so off camera I pop it off and I just re-dipped in the gold, so I'll have 2 gold accent nails. So that's what I'm doing on my nails. I'm gonna press on with another story. Hi Marla, I've been watching all of your videos recently, and my mother-in-law has seen most, if not all, of your videos too. Oh, thank you so much, guys. I so appreciate you watching. So if you read this story in one of your YouTube videos, she's probably gonna cry. Haha. Oh my gosh, no, don't cry. This story is a bit sad, but also happy, because I think it proves that your pets will always be at your side in spirit, or their soul will find you. I'll start with a little backstory. Katana was my husband's family dog. Well, one of few. And they had her for 11 amazing years. She was an Akita and an absolute sweetheart of a dog. She loved everyone, but she had a special place in her heart for my husband, Mark. He was Katana's everything, and she loved him so much. My husband joined the military when he was 18 and moved away. But every time he would come home, she would bounce with excitement. She would crawl onto his lap and cuddle him, as if she wasn't 130 pounds of dog. Unfortunately, Katana passed away in 2016, and the whole family was devastated. My husband didn't like coming home that year because he didn't have Katana there to greet him. It was so hard on him, and I think he still gets sad thinking about her to this day. As time went by, my husband and I moved to England for 3 years, and we decided to go to Stonehenge one day. We made the drive out there and looked around, and we decided to go off the beaten path and walked along a field. All of a sudden, this dog comes barreling towards us. I mean, hauling ass, LOL. The dog gets to us and goes nuts over my husband. The dog is shaking with excitement and keeps bouncing and licking Mark's face, and he gets down to the ground and plays with the dog. The owner is running towards us, absolutely horrified and embarrassed, and apologizing profusely, saying her dog has never done such a thing, and it was so odd and out of character. We think nothing of it and say to her, "It's okay, we love dogs." The owner hooks the dog on the leash, and they go on their way. Mark and I, for a second, talk about how odd that was, because the dog didn't even notice I was there. It was all about him. However, I'm used to that. I call Mark the animal whisperer anyway. We headed home for the night, and I call my mother-in-law a few days later, and I tell her the story, and we're laughing. Then she stops and asks me, "What day did you go to Stonehenge?" I said it was January 14th, and she starts sobbing on the phone. I'm confused for a second, and then she says, "That was the 2-year anniversary of Katana being gone. Katana, oh my gosh, here we go again. I have tears in my eyes. Katana came to say hi to Mark. At this point, we were both crying, and I tell my husband, and he gets teary-eyed as well. Katana's soul found Mark, and they had a beautiful reunion that day. I will never forget the story. Our pets love us so much, and I firmly believe they will always find us no matter what. I hope this story brings a smile to your face, and if you decide to read on YouTube, be sure to shout out my mother-in-law. Hey, mother-in-law Teresa. She'll be thrilled. I love that you share these types of stories and my favorite types of videos you make. Oh my, I am so sorry for this kind of a loss. This breaks my heart, but I completely agree. I think animal souls, as well as human souls, they find a way. They will find a way to reach you, especially and usually at a time where you need it the most. And this makes my heart smile so big. I love this story. I absolutely love this story. And I love that your husband had that moment with that dog. What a crazy, crazy story in the best kind of way. Crazy in the best way. Thank you so much for sharing that with me and the whole, I'm going to compose myself for a minute. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, no lie. I had to take like a 5-minute break between stories just to like emotionally and mentally gather myself. These stories, this might be my favorite episode of Paws and Claws so far. I love these stories with my whole entire heart. Okay, the next story is called My 5 Rescue Fur Babies. You guys already know. If you've been here for a minute, you know that 5 is my number. So this story already, I haven't even read it yet. I have a place in my heart for this story. Anyway, I will digress and move on. Hello, Marla. I've been subscribed for a while and I love your videos. Thank you so much. I'd like to share our rescue stories of how we came to have 5 rescue babies. It's a very long story and I apologize in advance. Take it back. No apologies here. Our first rescue was just after my husband and I got married in 2009. We decided that we needed a dog in our lives, so we went to the local shelter, of course. We wanted them all, but we met 5 different babies and just weren't getting that connection with them. And we were getting ready to leave when a staff member was bringing a Chihuahua mix out of the kennel and she looked terrified. We asked to see her and she went right to my husband and she was ours. We named her Gur. Is that Gur? G-I-R? Gur? We couldn't figure a name, so we just took the the L off of girl. Okay, that makes more sense. After about 2 months, we decided Gur needed a playmate, so we went back to the same shelter and rescued another girl dog that I named her Doug. Oh my goodness, I love that. Fast forward 5 years and not looking for any animal additions at this time. But on my son's birthday, I was looking through Facebook swap board for a game he was wanting that I couldn't find, and someone is giving away this tiny 2-pound puppy. I told my husband, and all he said was, I guess we're getting another dog. She was rescued within hours of that post. Turns out, she was found wandering in South Phoenix and was an escape from a puppy mill raid that happened a few days prior. So enter our little Southside hood rat, Lily. 3 years later, I had hired a girl at my office who was telling my other girls about having 18 dogs in her backyard, and they were not allowed in the house. It was summer in Phoenix where temps can get out into the triple digits. One dog had puppies about 7 or 8 weeks old, and she was looking to get rid of the puppies. I immediately piped up and told her I'll take a girl puppy. No problem. Enter Nugget. Oh my God, another Nugget. Y'all, are you guys related? All 1.5 pounds of her. And we were at 4 babies. And people think we have lost our shit at this point. But 2020, come on down. One of my girls gets a knock on her door at 10 o'clock at night, opens it to see her ex-husband standing there with this wet towel and a shivering puppy wrapped in it, also soaking wet. This is March, pretty cold now in Phoenix. He hands her the puppy and tells her it's for the kids. It's a birthday present and leaves. She already has 2 bunnies, 3 pit bulls, a boa constrictor, a tegu, and an iguana. Oh, and a partridge in a pear tree. And this poor baby is all of 1 pound, that's it, maybe 5 or 6 weeks old. She immediately calls me and explains what happened. And of course, because I already have 4 small dogs under 20 pounds, what's one more, right? So now enter Duke, our first male dog and our 5th. Our fur babies and our kids, we wouldn't have it any other way. They came into our lives for a reason, and I wouldn't change a thing. We recently lost Gur to heart failure in November of 2020, and we were devastated by her loss. Sorry it's so long, but thank you for taking the time to at least read my rescue story and how we had 5 dogs at one point. Oh my, okay, first of all, I'm so sorry that Gur is no longer with you. That makes me sad, but This was such an incredible story. You know what? I had a kind of similar situation, so I understand. I mean, how do you say no? How do you say no? Especially when they're so little and teeny, and the circumstances that surround these situations. I love this with my whole entire heart. And I have a question. Are you thinking about adding another puppy? Do you want to have 5 again? Tell me. I need updates. Give me the update. Let me know what's going on. Thank you so much for sharing this and for allowing me the privilege of sharing this with the whole family. I'm going to get into my top coat routine real quick. I wanted to just let you know that I'm going to prime my nails before putting on my gel top coat. You can do this, or you can use gel base, or you can use both, whatever floats your boat. But while I'm doing that, I'm going to read you my last story for today. It is called Maple and Porter. Hi Marla, I'm from Nova Scotia, Canada. I want to start off by saying I love your channel and your Facebook group. Oh, thank you so much. I'm more of a creeper as I'm brand new to dipping, but thanks to your videos, I'm learning a lot and gaining confidence. I'll soon be ready to post. When I heard your recent Paws, oh my God, the New York is leaking out. When I heard your most recent Paws and Claws upload, I thought you'd appreciate and enjoy my dog's story. We got our first family pet, Maple, a golden retriever, when the kids were very young. He was the best dog. Loved the kids, other dogs, even cats. A little over a year ago, we were away at my son's basketball game. When we came home, we noticed Maple wasn't himself. He instantly fell ill, so on Monday morning, we took him to the vet and got the worst news possible. He was full of cancer. We made the decision to euthanize him and have him cremated. We brought his ashes home and laid them on the end table in the living room in the cardboard box from the vet until we had a special box made for him. The house was so quiet without Maple. We missed him so much. We missed hearing the clicking of his nails on the floor, his sleeping at the foot of our bed, and especially our walks. 3 months after Maple's passing, we just couldn't handle it, so we decided to get another puppy. We welcomed Porter, a rambunctious 12-week-old Bernedoodle. Is it like a St. Bernard slash something? I don't know. I'm trying to do the math. Porter is a very curious puppy and a chewer. He will chew anything and everything except a cucumber. He doesn't like those at all. Wow. Anyway, fast forward to July 26th weekend. Our son owns a hot dog cart and we were working all weekend as vendors at the Stan Rogers Folk Festival that we host in our town every year. My husband and I were taking turns running home to check on the puppy. It was John's turn, and he was gone for a very long time. I tried phoning him because we were very busy on the festival site and really needed his help. He wasn't answering the phone. About 45 minutes later, he came back. He had the look of pure horror on his face. I asked him what was wrong, and he said he didn't want to tell me. At this point, he had me very nervous. I told him that he had to tell me what was going on. He said when he walked into the house, Porter had Maple's ashes everywhere, from one end of the house to the other. I was speechless for a second, and then I busted out laughing. I said, why were you afraid to tell me that? Now maybe some people will be upset by that, but I was like, well, now our Maple will be with us everywhere in the house. Oh my gosh. I couldn't, wow. That's hilarious for me. I don't mean to laugh. I'm sorry. I don't want to be rude, but you laugh too, so I feel like I'm allowed. I guess Porter really wanted a playmate. Maybe that's what he was up to. Wow. I'm so sorry for your loss, but yay for Porter, and I'll take all his cucumbers. He doesn't want them, send them to me. I'll chew on them. No problem. Now that I have yapped and shared through this entire video, if you would like to send me one of your animal stories, again, that could be animal adoptions, ghost animals, crazy animal encounters, whatever kind of animal story you've got, I would love to hear, and I would love to share with the entire family. Until next time, weirdos, thank you so much for tuning in today and hanging out with me for a little bit. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Love you, bye.